In the homes of our grandparents, warmth wasn't a given. Many folks lived in drafty houses, on floors that stayed icy in winter, with little more than ingenuity and careful planning to stay comfortable through those long nights. They developed strategies that weren't just about comfort, they were, honestly, survival. These methods, honed over decades, can teach us how to maintain warmth efficiently today, even with all our modern limitations. They always placed the bed away from drafty walls and windows. One of the simplest yet, most overlooked secrets was strategic bed placement. Grandparents instinctively understood that cold air sinks and creeps along walls. Beds were rarely pushed against exterior walls. Instead, they were positioned closer to interior walls, often with the headboard pressed against a wall that shared warmth with the next room or even the fireplace wall. This minimized exposure to drafts while taking advantage of heat from adjoining rooms. Applying this today is straightforward. If your bedroom is cold at night, avoid placing your bed directly under windows or against thin exterior walls. If space is limited, a heavy curtain behind the bed can act as a buffer against cold air, kind of replicating the insulated wall effect our grandparents achieved naturally. They elevated the bed off the floor with frames and boards. Cold floors were a major challenge, especially in homes without central heating. Grandparents often raised their beds on sturdy frames or even simple wooden boards to create an air gap. This reduced the direct conduction of cold from the floor to the body while sleeping. In colder regions, they would even add layers of straw, old rugs, or carpets underneath the bed for additional insulation. For modern use, even a small bed riser can make a measurable difference. Adding a thick rug or several layers of blankets under the bed can trap air, creating a thermal buffer. Those who enjoy off-grid or minimalistic living can replicate this with wooden pallets or reclaimed boards. They layered bedding to trap warmth efficiently. Rather than relying on a single thick blanket, grandparents layered multiple sheets, blankets, and quilts. Each layer trapped air, creating insulation that kept the sleeper warm throughout the night. Wool and flannel were preferred because of their natural ability to retain heat and wick moisture, preventing chills from dampness. Today, layering still works better than a single modern comforter. A combination of flannel sheets, a wool blanket, and a quilt on top can provide targeted warmth, allowing the body to stay at a steady temperature. For colder rooms, adding a folded blanket at the foot of the bed ensures feet stay warm, mimicking the foot-warming strategies used historically. They used draft stoppers and insulated curtains strategically. Grandparents weren't shy about adding barriers where air flowed in. Draft stoppers, long fabric tubes filled with sand, sawdust, or cloth scraps, were placed at the bottom of doors. Windows were sealed with thick curtains or even cardboard panels in extreme cases. They understood that controlling airflow in the room directly impacted sleep quality and body warmth. Modern equivalents are simple. Installing draft stoppers along doors and windows or using thermal curtains significantly reduces heat loss. For older homes, layering blankets against window frames at night can replicate the same effect without permanent modification. They took advantage of thermal mass in the room. Homes built decades ago often had thick walls, brick, or stone that absorbed heat during the day. Grandparents positioned beds to benefit from this stored warmth. Even small adjustments, like moving a bed near a masonry wall that catches sun in the afternoon, made nights more comfortable. So, in today's context, this principle still works. If your bedroom has a wall exposed to sunlight during the day, placing the bed near it or installing a thick insulated panel can provide, subtle but effective warmth at night. Simple thermal storage devices such as hot water bottles or heated stones wrapped in cloth were historically used to extend this principle directly to the bed. They insulated the floor with rugs, straw, and boards. Floor insulation was a cornerstone of warmth. Grandparents often layered rugs, carpets, or straw mats to prevent the cold from rising into the sleeping area. In rural homes, hay or straw was a common underlay beneath the bed or even in the sleeping area itself. Not only did this block the chill, but it also added cushioning and comfort. For modern homes with hardwood or tile floors, thick rugs at the bedside or layered mats can replicate this strategy. In survivalist setups, straw or other natural fibers can be used temporarily for sleeping areas, offering insulation without needing electricity or modern heating. They position themselves to avoid drafts from shared ventilation. Older homes, often had chimneys, stoves, and venting that created these subtle air currents. Grandparents learned to read these flows and avoided placing beds directly in line with the moving air. A common practice was to use a folding screen or a simple wooden frame to redirect cold drafts around the bed, creating a personal microclimate within the room. Today, a simple screen room divider or even just some strategically hung blankets can redirect drafts from vents or open doors. Understanding airflow and creating a barrier between the sleeper and cold currents is a lesson that, honestly, still holds up, especially in older buildings without modern HVAC systems. Finally, grandparents relied on their own heat to maintain comfort. Sleeping in close proximity, sharing blankets with a partner, or even adding a pet in those colder months provided extra warmth. They also kept nightcaps and socks on, knowing that heat escapes fastest through your extremities. In modern application, even small adjustments like wearing warm socks using a sleep mask that covers part of the face or placing a hot water bottle at the feet can have a noticeable effect. Layering blankets to trap heat around the torso and feet maximizes natural body warmth while minimizing energy loss. Applying these secrets makes any room warmer and more comfortable. All these strategies combined show the efficiency and practicality of historical methods. By paying attention to bed placement, floor insulation, layered bedding, draft barriers, and strategic use of thermal mass, anyone can improve sleep comfort dramatically. The beauty of these techniques is that they are versatile. They work in both modern homes and off-grid survivalist settings. Adopting even a few of these measures will transform your sleeping environment. Moving your bed away from drafty windows, adding a rug underfoot, layering blankets, and sealing doors can take a room that once felt freezing and make it cozy without electricity. Historical techniques weren't complicated, but they were methodical, and their logic still applies perfectly today. By integrating these grandparent secrets into modern routines, we honor the ingenuity of previous generations while improving our own comfort. This is not just about warmth. It's about understanding history practically and applying it for real, tangible results in your life. If you found this guide valuable, make sure to subscribe to Warfield Prepper Chronicles for more historical insights and practical survival strategies. Share this with fellow history enthusiasts so they can benefit from these timeless techniques as well.